Hello everyone, welcome back to Andrina's Creations. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to customize your own activity packets. These are going to be some coloring sheets that you're going to be printing out directly from your home, and I'm also going to be teaching you on how to create these 3D treat bag toppers. You're going to see how easy it is, and today I'll be using Silhouette Studio, but of course you can use any software of your choice. So let's get started to show you how exactly you're going to make them and all the supplies that you're going to be needing. Make sure to check the description box for all the direct links. So the first thing that you're going to need is some cellophane bags. The size of the bags depends on the coloring sheets size that you're going to be printing. I'll leave the size below that I'm using. You're going to need a printer and printing paper. You're going to need some cardstock such as solid colors, your glitter and metallics. Here on the screen you will see my favorite brands of cardstock, and of course you're going to be needing your crayons. Go ahead and open up the software that you're going to be using. I'll be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. I have version 4.4. Now after you open up your software, your next step is to go ahead and get the images that you're going to be using and the coloring sheets. I personally am going to get everything from Fabrica. So I am affiliated with Fabrica. I'll leave the link down below. You can try it for the first month for free or for the first 10 downloads. After that, you can feel free to cancel at any time, or if you want to continue, your membership will be $9 a month. I highly recommend this. You have commercial license for everything that's in here. You have tons of fonts, images, clip arts, SVGs, and a whole bunch of sort of stuff. Just feel free to look through. But today I'll be using the cute Easter mini freebie set. I'll be using all these, and then I will also be using these coloring sheets. It's called the Easter activity book for kids, and I will also be using these coloring pages. Again, you can find images and stuff like that on Etsy, different websites, on Google if you just want to try this out. There's a variety of stuff that you can get out there, but like I said, today I'll be using everything from Fabrica. After I download, because I am a member of them, only thing I had to do is download. I don't have to pay for anything. So if you don't want to go ahead and become a member, you could just pay everything one by one. I don't recommend that because, again, there's so much stuff in here that it's better to just pay the monthly fee. Again, the first month will be free up to 10 downloads. All right. So I will just download, and once I download, I will extract the file and I will save everything to my laptop. You will save everything to your laptop or desktop. Once you have everything saved, I'm going to go back into my software. So there's two different ways on how to bring in your images into Silhouette Studio. Let me explain a little bit about Silhouette Studio. I have Silhouette Business Edition, but Basic Edition is free. I'll leave the link down below on how to download the Basic Edition. I highly recommend getting the Business Edition because you're able to use all the icons in the software. If you do want to upgrade to Business Edition, it's only a one-time payment. From today, it's still on sale for $50. The original price is $100. I will also leave the link down below if you do want to upgrade. But another thing is, you do not need a cutting machine to use the software. You can just use it to design, and then you're going to print and cut everything by hand. Let me repeat that again. You do not need a cutting machine to use this software. And if you do have Cricut cutting machines, I also have a separate video on how to design in Silhouette Studio and have your Cricut cutting machines cut if you do want to follow along with me here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and bring in all my images. There's two different ways. You can go to File and Merge, not Open. If you go to Open, you're going to open up a new document. So I'm just going to click on File and Merge. Or if you just downloaded everything, you can go down here to your Quick Access folder. You're going to click on it and then go to your folder, and then you're going to start bringing everything in. All you have to do is click on the image, and then you're just going to drag it into Silhouette. You're going to decide how many coloring sheets you want to do. Remember, I'm going to be doing front and back, which I'll be showing you how I print front and back. So if I have two here, this is only one page. So I'm going to bring in 8 images, and that's only going to be 4 sheets. I am then going to repeat the same steps on bringing in the images that I want to use for the treat bag topper. After you bring in everything that you're going to be using, you're going to decide the size that you want your coloring sheets to be. I want mine to be a half of sheet of a regular copy paper. So you guys know a regular copy paper is 8.5 by 11. So I want my coloring sheets to be 8 by 5.5, right? Because I also purchased my cellophane bags to be 6 by 9. This is why I said you have to determine the size of coloring sheets you want to be doing, and then that's how you're going to determine the size of cellophane bags. I'm going to repeat this again. I want my coloring sheets to be 8 by 5.5. So I'm going to just be clicking on one coloring sheet, and when I select it, I'm going to unlock my lock right here, the lock, to make sure that I put the correct measurements that I want. So where it says width, I'm going to type 5.5, and on my height, I'm going to type 8. So my width is 5.5 and my height is going to be 8 inches. I'm going to repeat the same steps for all the sheets. And that's it. That part is done. Again, you can customize these. You can go ahead and grab images from wherever you want. You can type some stuff here. Again, this is so totally customizable to you and the design that you want to give to your client, or this is just going to be for a family member, and so on. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you on how to make the tree bag toppers. You are going to, again, make sure that you measure your bag. So my bag is 6 inches wide. So I just want to go and I want to make my topper a little bit slightly bigger than the bag. So if my bag is 6 inches, I'm going to make my rectangle 6.25. I'm going to go here all the way to my left, and it's going to have all the shapes. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on the rectangle. I'm going to make any size rectangle here on my screen. I'm going to go here to my right in the fill icon that looks like a paint palette, and I'm going to color it just so you can see here on the screen. Also, when you make anything here in Silhouette, you're going to see a red outline. I personally don't like to see that. So under my fill icon right here, I'm going to change my outline color. Okay, now I am going to make sure that my rectangle is selected, and where it says width, I'm going to type 6.25, and on my height, I'm going to type 2. That's the measurements that I want. Again, you can make these any measurements of your choice. You can leave a rectangle like this, or you can also design them. I'm going to make a quick design on it. It's going to be very simple. Just follow along. Here on my page setup, which is the first icon on my right, I'm going to click on my second option here, and where it says show guides, I'm going to have that turned on. Where it says enable smart snapping, I'm also going to have that turned on. Okay. Now I'm going to go here again to my shapes, and I'm going to click on the oval shape. I'm going to hold down my shift key so it can be a perfect circle. And then once it's like this, I want to go ahead and have my circle 1 by 1. So 1 by 1. And let me actually color this as well so you're able to see it. I'm going to bring this circle and have it touch right here on my rectangle, and you're going to be seeing some red lines when the circle's in the middle of your rectangle. And let me actually move everything from around so it's not aligning with anything here on the screen. The good thing about Silhouette Studio is that if you zoom out and in, you are able to design all around this gray area. So I'm just gonna be moving everything out the way so there's nothing here that the circle wants to line up with, just the rectangle. Okay, so let me zoom back in. Okay, let's do that again. I'm gonna click on my circle, and you see how there's a blue line showing up. I want that blue line to show up to be right in the middle. You see, there's 2 lines, one coming down and one going across. That means it's right there in the center. I'm going to let that circle go, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I want it to be right in the middle. And it's actually lining up with something down here. Once I know everything is good, everything's lined up, I'm going to click here somewhere on my screen. I'm just going to click, and I'm going to drag my mouse to select all 3 shapes. I'm going to go here to my right to the modify icon, and I'm going to click on divide. Once I click on that, I'm going to click somewhere on my screen, and I'm going to be removing everything off of there, just like that. I'm going to select everything and click delete on my keyboard, and now I am left with this shape. I'm actually going to right click and duplicate this because I actually need to stay with this shape, and you're going to see at the end why I need this, because I'm going to be creating layers. I'm going to select this shape, and I'm going to come here to my replicate icon, and right here where it says mirror, I'm going to mirror up, and there you have it. I'm going to color this a different color so y'all know exactly how it's looking. I'm going to come back over here on my left. I'm going to grab the line icon. I'm going to grab the line. I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to make a straight line. Then I'm going to let go of my shift key. Then I'm going to go here to my outline icon where it says style. I'm going to select, and I'm going to click on the little score marks. Okay. And I'm actually going to color them black so you're able to see them. And let me zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to grab these score marks, and I'm going to bring it up to touch right in the middle. You will see a blue line that's going to come up, and you will see that your score marks are right in the center. Okay. Now I'm going to select the top shape, and I'm going to click my arrow keys on my keyboard just one time down. Just one time. Then I'm going to hold my shift key and select this one in the bottom. So both of them are selected. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to weld. And now I created my topper. I'm going to click here on my screen, and I'm going to drag my mouse and select everything, and I'm going to group this together, and now I have this shape. Remember that I duplicated this shape here, so I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to my offset icon on my right that looks like a double star, and I'm going to click on internal offset. And my internal offset, I want it to be maybe around 0.080. And then I'm going to go here to my fill icon, and I am going to go ahead and color that. I'm going to go back to my offset icon, click on internal offset. Again, same size, 0.080, and I'm also going to color that. And now I created layers. I do not need that one. Now I'm going to be cutting this part out of metallic cardstock, and I'm going to be printing on this one. Okay, so let's design that. So this is going to be cutting out of gold metallic, so let me just color it orange. That's going to be gold. I'm going to be cutting this piece out of pink cardstock. And then let's put an image or a background on this one. There's two different ways on how to put a background inside of a shape. If you do not have business edition, I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to right click this one so you can see. You're just going to, let me right click and duplicate this one as well so you can see. I put my background in the back, so I just clicked on it, right click, and send to the back. Okay, so now you will see my design in the back of my shape. I will click here and then drag my mouse to select both. I'm going to go to my modify icon, and I'm going to click on crop. Okay, that's if you have basic edition. If you have business edition, I'm going to click on my shape. I'm going to go here all the way to my left to the property dropper. I'm going to select that and then click inside here of my design, and then you will see it there. I'm going to go back to my fill icon, the third option, which is the patterns. I'm going to click where it says mirror pattern or aspect ratio, and I'm going to select that, the first F, to fix the aspect ratio, and there you have it. I need two of these, so I'm going to right click and duplicate because I'm actually going to design the front and the back of my topper. So for the back, I am just going to put this little bunny here. I'm going to put a white offset so it can stand out a little bit more. I'm going to right click and group it. I'm going to take that outline color off because I do not like that red outline. Right click and bring to the front. And to type here in Silhouette, all you have to do is click on the A on your left, then A on your right. Make sure that if you do want to download fonts, that your software is completely closed. After you download and install your fonts, then you open up Silhouette and all your fonts should be there. I'm going to select a font, and I'm going to click somewhere on my screen, and I'm going to start typing. And then I want to select to center it. I'm going to Then I'm going to unselect it to get off the edit mode. Then I'm going to select it again. I'm going to go here to my fill icon and I'm going to color it. Now, if you don't like any of these colors, you can just use the dropper from right here from the fill icon and come near your design and select one of the colors that you like from your design, okay? I'm also going to go ahead and put the outline color a little bit up to 0.25. If the thickness of your outline is on 0, that means it's not going to print. So make sure you put that up a little bit. So I put it on 0.25 and I'm going to color it black. Then I'm going to go to my offset icon, click on offset. And I'm going to put it 0.050 and then I'm going to color that yellow. I'm going to select everything, right click and group it. All right, so the back is done. Now let's do the front. The front, actually, I'm not going to be printing nothing on. I'm going to just print this by itself, but I am going to be adding this little chick right here in 3D. So I am just going to be, let me make him smaller. Him or her smaller. Let me remove that outline color. And then I'm gonna do offsets. I'm gonna do 2 offsets. I'm gonna select everything, right click and group it together. And this is gonna right click and bring to the front. And this is gonna go right here. Now with the word Happy Easter, if I do a print and cut with this, it's going to automatically cut each word individually, and I do not want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a white offset around it so everything cuts off as one, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and click on offset. And I'm going to color that white. So if you look closely, see, I need to go up a little bit more. So let me actually delete that one. And then let me do an offset again. I need everything to be touching so it can cut off as one piece. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting this off of one piece. Let me group that. Then let me do another offset. I'm going to select everything and group it together and then size it to where exactly I want to put it at. Let me remove all that red outline color. Right. Now you're going to be cutting this off of regular cardstock. I'm going to be using 8x11 cardstock for this, so I need to go ahead and where it says my page setup, your first icon where it says media size, I'm going to change that to 8x11 because I'm going to be using 8x11 cardstock. Then I'm going to place that here. I'm going to right click and duplicate because you can cut 2 at a time. Then once you have everything there, you're going to click on your send tab. You're going to select the settings that you're going to be using. I have a cameo 3 and a cameo 4. I'm going to be using blade of 7, 4s of 27. I use blade of 26 or 27. And then speed, I'm going to be doing speed of 4. And then I'm going to do 2 passes because it is thick cardstock. I'm going to select the machine that I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to send to cut. Once that is cut, I'm going to move this off the side and I'm going to be placing these here. I'm going to duplicate and then I'm going to be cutting these out of gold cardstock. Then I'm going to click on send and I'm going to be using the same settings. Once that is cut, Now remember, I am going to be doing now a print and cut. I first have to print on my printer, and then I had to have my machine cut it. To do that, I had to turn on my registration marks, which that's right here on your page setup. You're gonna go to the third option and click on for your registration marks. Where it says thickness, I'm going to go all the way up, and I am going to be turning on my print bleed, and I'm gonna put my print bleed on 0.25. Now this is going to be printing as one piece. And then this is going to be printing by itself. I have to ungroup the images because I just want this by itself. And these are just going to be cut out of regular cardstock. Same with the words. I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to ungroup it really quick so y'all can see what we're going to do. I'm going to click on my send tab. Everything that it's red, that's what your machine is going to want to cut. And then I'm going to click on the bunny, click on no cut, click on the words and click on no cut, click on the actual shape and click on cut. And then I'm going to select everything and group it together. Now the same thing with the words. Remember, we did a white offset. If you look closely, it's going to do a double cut. So I need to make sure I am going to just select the words and click on no cut, and then do the same thing here. And then all you see is the outline around it, which now is going to be cutting off as one piece. I'm going to select all this and right click and group it together. Now from here you have to go ahead and print. So I'm going to click here on my printer icon. Okay, so now you have to select the printer you're going to be using. I'm going to be using Pretty Party and Crafty printable paper. So because it is glossy, I do love the Canton quality for my glossy paper. I only need one copy, so I'm going to go to my Canton. I have a Canton Pro Pixma 200. I'm going to click on Preferences. Where it says media type, I'm going to click on Photo Paper Pro Platinum. Then the size is going to be 8 by 11. And then I'm going to print from the top feed. And then click OK. Make sure that the same the paper size is going to be matching here on your page setup, here on your printer preferences, and also on your printer. 3 different spots, your same paper size should be matching. I'm going to click on OK and then print. Once it prints, I'm going to load this paper to my mat and I'm going to send it to cut, okay, with the same settings that I showed you prior. Once all this is printed, I gotta go ahead and cut these pieces. Turn off the registration marks. And then I'm gonna cut this out of purple, then so on and so on. Once you're done cutting these pieces out, now let me show you what I do with the actual coloring sheets. I like to pre-cut my coloring sheets, which I will show you what I mean. And I will just send it to print like that was the actual paper size. Remember I said that I want my sheets to be 8 by 5.5. So here on my page setup, I'm going to change my media size. The width is going to be 5.5 and my height is going to be 8. This is the size of sheet I'm going to be printing. I'm going to go ahead and pre-cut all my paper to this size, okay? Again, my width 5.5 and my height 8 inches. Okay, all you have to do is click on one of the coloring sheets, and I'm going to go here to my transform icon, and where it says center, I'm going to center it to the page. Once I have that here, you're going to decide how many packets are you going to do. Just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm only going to be doing 2 coloring packets. So I'm going to go back here to my printer icon. I'm going to click on print. Here, I'm going to be printing from my Eco Tank 16600. I'm going to click on preferences. I'm going to be printing from the back paper tray. On document size, I had to click on user defined because I am not using none of the paper sizes here. So I'm going to click on user defined, and then I'm going to go to my paper width and type 5.5. And on my paper height, I'm going to click 8. Remember, I'm going to be pre-cutting my paper. I put the measurements in there. I'm going to click on OK. And my paper type, I'm going to leave it on plain paper, bright white paper. I'm going to be doing 2 copies. Click on OK and then print. Once I print those 2 out, I'm going to actually put this one to the side. I'm going to select my other coloring page, click on center it, and then the same paper that I printed this on, I'm going to flip it over and print this one in the back. Once you are done printing this one, you're going to go to your next one and repeat the same steps. You're going to do the same thing of any size papers, sheets that you're going to be using or doing. Once you're done doing all that, let's go ahead and assemble everything. Okay, here you're going to see me pre-cutting all my copy paper down to 8 by 5.5. You're going to cut as many sheets as you want, and you can even pre-cut a whole bunch and have them save on the side. Again, I'm cutting them to 8 by 5.5. Now go ahead and make sure you put those same settings on your printer, so the user defined 5.5 by 8 and plain paper setting. Once the paper comes out, you're going to flip it upside down, re-enter it back on the printer, and let that print. And that's how you're going to make it double-sided. That is the method that I use. There's plenty of other methods out there. There's some printers out there that will also do double-sided printing. You can do booklet settings and all that. So just go ahead and Google what your printer does. Okay, now you have to start putting everything together. Go ahead and fold out your score mark, and I'm actually going to glue the first layer, which is the metallic. I'm going to squeegee it down to make sure everything's adhered. After I glue the first part, I'm going to go ahead and put foam double-sided tape on my printed layer so it can be like a 3D effect. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Happy Easter name or the Happy Easter sign and the little image of the chick that I printed. You can find double-sided foam tape anywhere, any store, but I'll link one from Amazon down below. But again, also Dollar Tree has it as well. And I'm going to make sure that I put double-sided foam tape in the back of them too, so it gives it more of the dimension when I put it on top of the topper. Once you're done putting everything together on the topper, you're going to add your coloring sheets inside of your cellophane bag, add your crayons. Make sure that you put everything facing the front and not the back, if that makes sense. So the crayons have to go in the front, so when you seal your cellophane bag, it's facing to the back. Then I'm just going to use a double-sided tape to put the topper on the bag. A lot of people use staples, but I like this look better. It gives it to me a more finished look, and then I'm just going to adhere it on top of the bag, and that's it. You're done. Now remember, these party favors are great for any event, for Easter, St. Patrick, Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday parties. It doesn't matter. Customize them for whatever event you want. Now, would you like a video for these custom crayons? Comment down below if you do, and I will of course make a tutorial for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, I am on the road to 100K, so please share this video, and I can't wait to show you my next tutorial. Bye bye guys. I hope everyone's having a blessed day, and talk to you guys later.